Welcome, everybody. It's Thursday, draft day here on the U Sports Report alongside Kimberly Temple. I'm Khalil Ekulona. I'm back, and it's good to see that the kids didn't burn the house down while I was gone. All right, we've got a whole bunch of news. Today is the most important day of the sports year if you're a football fan. It is draft day. That's right. The first round takes off later on today in Chicago. Kimberly, are you excited?
I honestly can tell you this is better than Christmas for me. As you guys can see, I'm a Jaguars fan. So this day is a day of so much potential and so much opportunity. I'm so excited.
Yes, it is exciting. Potential and opportunity, also potential for grief. But before we get to NFL news, we're going to kick it off with some NBA playoff action here at Around the Nation, everybody. We're going to start off with a fantastic game. We got the Toronto Raptors versus the Indiana Pacers. This, Kimberly, was a fantastic game. Series tied at 2-2, and these guys were pushing it. Paul George was just a beast.
He was. You know, for this game, he showed up and he played like he had nothing to lose, and he benefited big.
He's really stepping into his all-star status, basically, you know, erasing all doubts of that leg injury that he suffered a couple years ago. This game was something else in the second half. Paul George and these guys is getting a little chippy. It's playoff basketball, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to hit the ground. Paul George is trying to step up to Kyle Lowry saying, hey, get off of my territory. Lowry's like, hey, man, you need a breath mint or something.
There's palpable tension between those two, but that didn't stop the action in this game. So much intensity and just beautiful play on both teams' behalf.
That's right. They were both going for it, one-on-one, playing team ball. The bench was a huge difference, especially for the Raptors, ladies and gentlemen. Toronto had a lead. It looked like Toronto was going to pull it off. In the fourth quarter, this Raptors bench seemed to spark these guys back to a fantastic win.
They did. They came back with fire, and they wound up winning the game, and it was ultimately a beautiful win.
That's right. That's right. Toronto wins 102-99. We must note that Indiana had a chance to win the game at the buzzer. It looked like when the red light went off on top of the backboard, the ball was still in one of the Pacers' hands, so that three-pointer did not count, giving Toronto the win. They lead the series 3-2, but I have a feeling that this series is going to go 7 games. Okay, moving on, we've got the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Boston Celtics, ladies and gentlemen. Boston Celtics have something to worry about. Look, teams with great players losing guys to injury in the playoffs is a big storyline this season. And this season, in this game, Isaiah Thomas seemed to twist his ankle going up for a layup early, and that could put them in jeopardy.
He did. He looked like he was in some pain after that. Ultimately, Atlanta won 110-83. We'll get right into Charlotte versus Miami. Personally, a great game for me, as I am a Hornets fan. I think Miami expected this series to be a little bit easier than it has been for them.
Charlotte is a young, scrappy team led by Kemba Walker. They weren't going to stop there. You see Joe Johnson pulling some off, but there is a big three in the corner from one of the Hornets. They're actually pulling it off, and once again, another three. Charlotte shot very well from the three-point line. Dwayne Wade coming in, doing what he can do. He's like, I might be old, but I can still get it done.
He can get it done. He definitely can get it done. It looked a lot like Miami was kind of tired in this game. We talked about this before the show, with how much intensity they put into the regular season and then the playoffs. And like I said, expecting this to maybe be a little bit easier than it has been.
Yeah.
Miami looks like they're pretty worn out, so they're going to need to get some energy back in them to continue this series and hopefully pull it off of themselves if they really want it.
They're definitely missing a healthy Chris Bosh, and that right there is the three that broke the Heat's back, ladies and gentlemen. Dwayne Wade coming in to try to get the game in. And this is a really good no call coming up here. It's playoff basketball, ladies and gentlemen. He's going immediately to go complain to the refs, but the ref is like, hey, you know how it is. You come to the lane, you come to the hole, you might hit the ground. Playoff basketball, make the shot. Charlotte wins the game. What do you think? Do you think the Hornets have a chance to pull it off, Kimberly?
I think we will potentially win this series, but I don't think that they'll get too much further into the playoffs with the amount of talent that we're seeing in the NBA this year and in these playoffs. Charlotte's going to have to step it up and play some serious A-game basketball.
We're going to see if the youth movement continues, ladies and gentlemen, in these next couple games. Be sure to watch. That's going to be a good one. Moving on to Portland and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers decimated by injury. They lost Blake Griffin to a quad injury and Chris Paul to a broken bone in his right hand. And therefore, the Trailblazers decided to take advantage of this depleted squad. But DeAndre Jordan showing that, get out of here. Allstate commercials, ESPN commercials, I'm going to dunk on you regardless.
The Clippers definitely put in a lot of effort in this game. Unfortunately, not enough to beat Portland, but they put in a lot of effort, and like you said, 2 key players missing, so quite a bit of energy on the court.
Yes, Austin Rivers loses the ball to Damian Lillard. Lillard coming through, pulling it off. And look, Portland did not really have a tough time with the Clippers in this situation. The Clippers had a promising playoff outlook, but now it does not seem to be that way. Doc Rivers is wondering what he can do to help his team out. Hey, if you know somebody who can magically heal broken bones, it's going to be tough, Doc. And he's a doc, so... yeah, he didn't study that type of medicine, I guess.
Not quite.
Moving on to Golden State Warriors versus the Houston Rockets. Steph Curry out about 2 weeks with a knee injury, and that had a lot of Warriors fans scared. They were like, what are they going to do? But unfortunately, it's called the Splash Brothers, not the Splash Guy. Klay Thompson came through with an absolutely huge game, and they ran the Rockets out of the building. The Rockets are one of those teams, you know, that you mentioned this earlier, that the Rockets did not look to be in sync. Do you think they're going to blow this team up at the end of the season?
I don't think the Rockets have a shot in HELL. I don't think, with Klay showing up, with Klay stepping up to the plate and doing what he needs to do for his team, Houston hasn't meshed in this series as much as you would like to see them mesh, and only putting 81 points up against Golden State in this game without Curry, it just doesn't look like they've got enough heat in them to pull it off.
Yeah, they don't have enough heat to take off, as a matter of fact. There's no way they can get that atmosphere. The Rockets need to go back to the program. Possibly NASA can fund them or something, help these guys out. NHL news. What's going on?
News. So it is officially round 2 of the NHL playoffs, which is big news. A lot of fans are disappointed, but some are even more excited. You know, San Jose is getting ready to take on the Predators. That'll be Friday night. We're going to see the Stars and the Blues again Friday night. Tonight we're going to watch the Penguins and the Capitals, and that will be at 6 o'clock tonight, Mountain Standard Time. But last night we got the opportunity to see the Islanders, the New York Islanders, beat Tampa Bay, which was kind of a big game for them because Tampa Bay barely pulling off their last series.
Tampa Bay looks good, but the Islanders, ladies and gentlemen, the Islanders, when's the last time the Islanders have made it deep into the playoffs? It's been a while.
It is, yeah, it has been quite some time, and apparently they are ready to make a name for themselves again in these playoffs. They ultimately won this game 5-3 against Tampa Bay, who put up a fight, but the Islanders were ready for it.
Islanders were absolutely ready. And look, this year the NHL playoffs are wide open. No more Chicago Blackhawks, no more Detroit Red Wings, no more Los Angeles Kings. So we're going to get a new Stanley Cup champion coming around. And all of these teams are young, and they're saying, hey, we have a shot. It's time to pass the torch so we can move on.
It is going to be a beautiful remainder of the NHL playoffs. And so if you guys are interested at all in hockey, check our social media. We've got some updates on that for you guys as those games are happening. And, of course, tune in every single week.
That's right. Keeping it cool on the ice. All right, that's it for Around the Nation. Our dab master, the college expert, Mr. Tyler Ortega, is coming up with us next here on the U Sports Report.